We are on a weather alert right now on CBS4 News. The biggest winter storm in more than a decade is still dumping snow all across the state. A blizzard warning in effect in many areas. A lot to report on tonight. Drivers having to be rescued, tens of thousands of people without power, and schools and businesses are shutting down tomorrow. We talked about that blizzard warning now in effect until midnight. People being strongly advised to stay home tomorrow if they can.
We have team coverage for you right now. Jamie Leary along I-70, the mountains, where drivers are stranded after the interstate shut down. Tori Mason in Denver Forest, where thousands have lost power. Dylan Thomas in northern Colorado, where many roads, including I-25, impassable. Michael Abeyta in Aurora, where a lot of people are still being rescued from their cars out there. Let's start, though, with meteorologist Dave Aguilera with the latest on this storm. And, Dave, we've already gotten more than 2 feet in Denver, and there's a little bit of a break in some places right now.
Little break going on, but there's more before we're done with the blizzard of 2021. Let's start with that number at DIA, 24.1 inches so far at the airport. So that puts us at 2 feet for this storm and also puts us into the top five for Denver's largest snowstorms since 1882. Here we are right there at number 4 with 24.1. Still not as big as the all-time record holder at 45.7, which happened a long time ago in 1913. So that is still standing. Take a look at these numbers. 21 to 25, Broomfield, Aurora, Westminster. 3 feet of snow and more in Buckhorn Mountain, which is part of Larimer County. Nederland in Boulder County. And Aspen Springs, which is up near Blackhawk, 40 inches of snow already. It's still snowing up there. They're going to try to make it to 4 feet of snow up there. Now, the winds are dying down here, but we've still got some winds over the south metro area, so that blizzard warning is still in effect. Here's a look at the high-res radar now for you. Let's take it full, and you can see we've still got a sliver of snow right along the front range here from Fort Collins down through Denver and Castle Rock. Had a little break from time to time in that bunch, and then there's another blast of moisture coming across Lyman and Burlington that'll still come through the pike for a few more inches of snow into the evening tonight. So we are not done yet. So the blizzard warning will continue till midnight for another 1 to 3 inches of snow and gusts still up to 45 miles per hour. But as I showed you on that wind map, Jim and Karen, the winds are slowly starting to subside. So conditions will get better and better. But man, oh man, is it rough out there tonight. Coming up, I'll let you know when everything is gone. And guess what? There's another snowstorm headed our way for Tuesday. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
All right, one at a time, Dave. We can only handle one at a time.
Sorry about that.
So many cars got stuck on the snowy roads in Aurora today. The city has issued an emergency declaration. Now, this declaration allows the city to tag and tow abandoned vehicles. Aurora SWAT team brought out their Bearcats to rescue drivers. Aurora police tweeted this picture of a family in the back of their Bear on the way to a shelter. See them there. Michael Abeyta has been out in one of the worst areas near Smoky Hill all day. And Michael, the wind out there really terrible.
Yeah, Karen, you know, the wind was half of the problem, the other half being this tremendous amount of snow we got. But the wind took that snow and it created drifts like this for people who were driving down Smoky Hill. This is actually eastbound Smoky Hill I'm standing in the middle of. It trapped cars here just like this one. Now, Mother Nature showed no mercy. ATVs seemed to be okay, but all kinds of other vehicles got stuck, from cars and trucks to SUVs, and even a plow seemed to be having a rough time. That's because the wind and snow caused drifting, which froze some drivers in their tracks. Aurora police helped out as much as they could. They brought that Bearcat out, like you said, but at one point Aurora police tweeted that they had 20 to 30 vehicles trapped on E470 and 48 vehicles trapped around the metro area. Now, those first responders who tried to assist, they eventually became part of the issue, getting trapped themselves. And that meant that neighbors in these communities and across the state had to come out to help each other out.
I was actually going to go to the store, but saw a lot of people on the side. Figured I'd help them out.
Now that was Daniel. He was out here with his pickup truck and a tow strap pulling people out. People who didn't get a chance to run across Daniel, like this car here, they need to be careful because, like you said, the city announced that they are going to tag and tow these vehicles. In Aurora, Michael Abeyta, covering Colorado First.
Michael, thanks for all the reporting today. The snow has made many of Colorado's main highways and interstates simply impassable. I-25 to the north and south of the Denver metro area is closed, and Interstate 70, well, it is shut down on the eastern plains. That is still in effect. However, the interstate up through the high country has partially reopened, and both directions are now back open. This is all happening within the last few seconds. CBS4's Jamie Leary live along the highway near Silverthorne today. And Jamie, great news for all those folks who were stranded. They can start finding their way home.
It really is good news, but as you can see, there are still a ton of truck drivers hunkered down here. And the issue really is that this closure has lasted for so long throughout the day today. People are just exhausted. People did take advantage of all the powder in the mountains today, but a lot of people tried to head back. Some people we spoke with just committed to getting a hotel room, hoping to save what patience they have left to sit through traffic tomorrow.
We're just hanging out in the parking lot.
Jamie McComas and her son Charlie were among hundreds of cars stranded in Silverthorne Sunday.
We were headed to Georgetown, and we can't make it there. The rest of our family's stuck on the other side of Denver.
Eastbound I-70 saw sporadic closures over the weekend, and by Sunday afternoon, most had the same thought.
I'm just trying to decide whether it's hotel time.
Hi, Bo. Charles and Amanda luckily have Bo to keep them company, but it's still stressful. Do you have a plan?
I guess we better make one, but I mean, we both have work tomorrow in Denver.
Really? In person?
In person, in the office.
The pair came for the powder, and the delay, many skiers would argue, is worth it.
It's been beautiful. It's just constant fresh refills. There's nothing more I can ask for here.
Keystone reported 6 inches overnight Saturday, and with more snow expected, hunkering down might not be the worst for some. For others,
what do you do to not lose it right now?
I'm not sure. I'm trying to decide that right now.
we did make phone calls to hotels all over Summit County, and most are completely full. So if you do need a place to stay tonight, the room is actually running out at this point in time. And with more snow expected tomorrow, there could be more closures. So CDOT says be prepared for anything at this point. The real problem, though, remains east of the divide, and we'll keep our eye on it. Live in Summit County, Jamie Leary, CBS4 Mountain Newsroom.
Jamie, thanks so much. The brutal conditions have proven to be too much even for some snow plows. The State Patrol sharing this pic of a plow that tipped over on Highway 285 near Conifer. Authorities say the heavy pileup of snow means that plow's going to just have to stay there for now. It was part of a CDOT fleet, which has been working overtime trying to keep up with the epic snowfall.
We're looking forward to the point when the storm does move out and we can really get the highways cleared. But we're out there and we're plowing and clearing snow and ice as much as we can while the impacts are still right on top of us.
Just a terrific job by all those crews this weekend. Drivers are strongly encouraged just to stay off the roads and also to delay their commute tomorrow or work from home if at all possible.
Powerline repair crews also working overtime this weekend. That heavy, wet snow really weighed down the branches and power lines, causing thousands to go without power. CBS4's Tori Mason working on this story for us, tracking those outages tonight. And Tori, tough night to go without electricity.
Definitely, Karen. And earlier this week, we learned that a lot of people were getting those branches trimmed last minute just to be safe. Well, it turns out they made the right decision. This wet and heavy snow has caused over 180,000 Coloradans to go without power this weekend.
I just started grabbing all the candles and all the lights I could.
Eric James knew snow was coming, but he didn't anticipate power going out hours before the storm.
Definitely not expected, especially to happen so soon within the first day.
Saturday evening, nearly 3,000 of his neighbors in Cap Hill were in the dark, too.
They said that they had people working on it, but they don't know the estimation. So that's what kind of worried us.
4 hours later, the lights were back on. Xcel Energy says 4 hours is about the longest any customer has been without power.
We have to replace the poles. We have to replace the wires.
Xcel says the weather has caused some delays. Their tires are changed and prepared for the worst, unlike the cars causing problems.
We've had a couple of different vehicles that have crashed into poles from being on the roads.
All of the crews Xcel has on standby are working. As of 4:30 this afternoon, there were still 32,000 Coloradans without power. Xcel says they're working as quickly and as safely as possible.
It's hard to call on some of our other utility partners here in Colorado because they're dealing with the same thing.
So all of those additional employees Xcel had over the weekend, they're not calling it quits after tonight. They're all going to stay on board because Xcel expects more trouble in the coming hours, especially in the northern parts of Colorado. Now, when it comes to Xcel's gas systems, they actually haven't had any trouble there. Good news, but they want to use this as a reminder, since the snow is still coming down, to tell people to keep those gas meters clear of any accumulation. We're live in Denver. Tori Mason covering Colorado First.
Tori, thank you. The Colorado National Guard out helping stranded drivers on the northern stretch of I-25. We've got a live report for you coming up from northern Colorado. Plus,
I'm already having in my mindset that it's going to keep going through the night.
Coming up, emergency first responders working around the clock to help others while trying to avoid getting stuck themselves. We take you along on their patrol.
Our big March monster is still pumping copious amounts of moisture back into the Front Range. I'll let you know when the blizzard comes to an end, and I'll give you some insight on our next snowstorm.